Have you ever noticed that the loudest people often achieve the least, while those who stay quiet, disciplined, and focused seem to build powerful lives in silence? The Stoics believe that true strength doesn't come from shouting about your plans. It comes from mastering yourself, focusing inward, and letting your actions speak louder than words. In this video, we'll uncover 7 timeless Stoic rules that will help you focus on yourself, stay silent, and build a life so strong that noise can't touch you. If you're serious about self-mastery and creating unshakable discipline, make sure you subscribe and watch until the end, because each rule builds on the next, and missing even one could hold you back. 1. Don't announce, act. One of the biggest mistakes people make when they decide to change their life is this. They announce it to the world before they've taken even a single real step. They go to social media, they tell friends, they declare, "This year, I'll start a business," or "I'm finally going to get in shape." For a moment, it feels empowering. People nod, applaud, and say, "That's great. You can do it." But here's the problem. By speaking it out loud too soon, you've already given yourself the reward before doing the work. The Stoics warned against this trap. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." It's easy to talk about what you'll do. It's harder to actually live it, day by day. And the more you announce your plans, the more you waste energy trying to look like you're making progress instead of actually making it. Imagine a blacksmith at his forge. He doesn't shout to the world, "I am making a sword." He just hammers day after day, until one day the blade is sharp enough to speak for itself. That's how your life should be built. Not in noise, but in silent progress. Think about athletes at the highest level. The greats rarely broadcast every workout or every hour of training. They disappear, work in silence, and then show up on the field with results no one can deny. Meanwhile, countless others talk endlessly about their grind, but never rise beyond mediocrity. Why? Because talking about effort is not the same as applying effort. Here's the truth. When you stay quiet about your goals, you build a kind of inner pressure. That pressure pushes you to act, because no one is watching, no one is applauding, and no one is expecting results. It's just you and your promise to yourself. And that silence gives you strength. So instead of announcing your goals, keep them close. Instead of talking about the book you'll write, write the book. Instead of saying you'll start a business, study in silence, plan in silence, work in silence. Then one day, when you reveal what you've built, people will be stunned. Not by your words, but by your results. This is the first Stoic rule. Don't announce, act. Let your actions be so loud that no words are needed. 2. Master your tongue. The Stoics knew that the tongue can build or destroy entire lives. Words can ignite wars, end relationships, or create peace. Seneca once said, "Speech is the mirror of the mind." In other words, your words reveal what's inside you. If you're careless with your tongue, you expose your weaknesses. If you master it, you display strength without needing to prove anything. Most people talk far too much. They gossip, argue, complain, explain, and justify themselves endlessly. But here's what the Stoics realized. Every unnecessary word drains your energy. Every argument steals your peace. And every time you let emotions pour out unchecked, you weaken your self-mastery. Think about moments of anger. How often have you said something you regretted? In the heat of the moment, words feel powerful. But when the storm passes, you're left with damage you can't undo. The Stoics believe that silence is often the stronger choice. When insulted, stay quiet. When tempted to gossip, hold your tongue. When you don't know, admit it. Mastery of speech is not about saying nothing. It's about knowing when to speak and what to say. Epictetus reminded his students, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Silence is not weakness, it's wisdom. When you listen more, you learn more. When you speak less, your words carry more weight. People start paying attention when you finally do speak, because they know you don't waste words. In our modern world, this rule is more important than ever. Social media tempts us to comment on everything, argue with strangers, and prove ourselves to people we don't even know. But each time you take the bait, you give away your power. The Stoic way is restraint. Guard your tongue the way a warrior guards his sword. Unsheath it only when necessary, and only with purpose. The more silent you become, the more disciplined your mind grows. And the more disciplined your mind, the stronger your actions. So remember, the man who masters his tongue masters himself. 3. Guard your energy. Your time and energy are the most precious resources you have. Yet most people give them away carelessly, to gossip, drama, endless distractions, and people who add no value to their lives. The Stoics saw this clearly. Marcus Aurelius warned himself in his journal. Avoid the busy talkers, the ungrateful, the arrogant, the jealous. They will drag you down to their level. When you focus too much on others, you lose sight of your own path. You spend hours worrying about what they think, defending yourself, or comparing your life to theirs. And slowly, without realizing it, your energy drains away. The Stoic solution? Guard your energy as if it were gold. Think about it. Every day you wake up with a limited amount of mental and physical energy. Where does it go? If you waste it on arguments, negativity, or chasing approval, you'll have nothing left to invest in your goals. But if you guard it, if you cut out toxic conversations, refuse to waste time on gossip, and limit your exposure to negativity, you suddenly find yourself with the focus to build your own life. Guarding your energy also means protecting your attention. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Notifications, endless scrolling, meaningless entertainment. Each small distraction chips away at your ability to focus deeply. The Stoics would say, choose carefully where your attention goes, because your attention shapes your life. It also means setting boundaries with people. Not everyone deserves access to you. Some people drain your energy with constant complaints, negativity, or manipulation. The Stoics would remind you, you don't owe your time to everyone. It's not cruelty, it's wisdom. By saying no more often, you're saying yes to your own growth. Silence plays a role here too. The less you engage in useless chatter and noise, the more energy you preserve for what truly matters. Your discipline, your craft, your personal growth. Guarding your energy is not selfish, it's necessary. Because only when your own lamp is full can you shine light on others. Only when your mind is strong can you face challenges. And only when your energy is protected can you build the life you want in silence. 4. Walk away from noise. One of the most underrated Stoic rules for focusing on yourself is learning how to walk away from noise. And by noise, I don't just mean literal sound. I mean the endless noise of opinions, gossip, drama, and distractions that fill your daily life. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, if you seek tranquility, do less. Or do what's essential, what the logos of a social being requires, and in the requisite way, which brings a double satisfaction. To do less better. What he was really saying is that peace and focus are found not in doing more, but in removing what doesn't matter. Think about your day. How much of your time and attention is stolen by meaningless noise? Maybe it's co-workers dragging you into office gossip. Maybe it's friends who constantly complain but never improve. Maybe it's the endless scroll of social media where you're bombarded with opinions, arguments, and negativity that do nothing for your growth. All of this is noise, and it pulls you further away from the life you're trying to build. The Stoics knew that silence isn't just about keeping your mouth shut. It's also about protecting your mind from outside clutter. When you remove noise, You create space for clarity. When you walk away from pointless debates, you free up energy for building your future. But here's the challenge. Walking away often feels uncomfortable. Humans are social creatures. We want to belong, to be part of the conversation, to not feel left out. But every time you allow yourself to get dragged into meaningless noise, you pay with your focus. Seneca warned about this when he said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you are capable of improving." The process is a mutual one. Men learn as they teach. If the voices around you are not improving you, they're distracting you. And distractions are the enemy of growth. So practice walking away. Walk away from gossip at work. Walk away from pointless online arguments. Walk away from friendships that are built only on negativity. Not with anger or arrogance, but with quiet discipline. Because every step you take away from noise is a step toward focus, peace, and self-mastery. In the end, silence is not about isolation. It's about creating the right environment for your mind to thrive. When you eliminate noise, you'll finally hear the most important voice of all, your own. 5. Build discipline in silence. The Stoics believed that true discipline doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't need witnesses. It's built in silence, when no one is watching and no one is cheering you on. Think about a soldier preparing for war. He trains every day, repeating the same drills, mastering the same routines. There's no audience, no cameras, no glory. Yet when the battle comes, his discipline is what keeps him alive. That's how life works. You don't rise to the occasion. You fall back on the level of your preparation. And preparation requires discipline. Marcus Aurelius kept a journal, not for others, but for himself. Every day, he reminded himself of his duties, his weaknesses, and the kind of man he wanted to be. This was discipline in silence. No bragging, no seeking approval, just daily repetition of self-mastery. Now, here's the trap most people fall into. They try to build discipline only when they feel motivated. But Stoicism teaches us that discipline must exist beyond motivation. Motivation is a spark, but discipline is the firewood that keeps the flame alive. And that fire is built through small, consistent, silent habits. Wake up early, not to prove something to others, but to gain control of your day. Train your body, not to post about it, but to strengthen your will. Read, journal, or meditate in silence, not because anyone is watching, but because it fortifies your mind. Discipline also means denying yourself things that weaken you. Seneca practiced voluntary discomfort, sleeping on the floor, eating simple meals. Not because he had to, but because he wanted to prepare his mind to handle hardship without fear. This is the essence of Stoic discipline. Training yourself in silence so you can endure anything when the noise of life inevitably comes. When you make discipline your silent companion, something powerful happens. You stop relying on external validation. You no longer need applause, likes, or approval. Your strength becomes internal. And when life throws obstacles your way, you face them calmly, because you've trained for them when no one was watching. The Stoic understood. Discipline in silence builds resilience in chaos. So don't wait for the world to notice you. Build in silence, and let your results make the noise. 6. Practice detachment from opinions. One of the greatest killers of focus is the obsession with what others think. The Stoics saw this weakness clearly and warned against it. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." That's a hard pill to swallow. Most of us crave approval. We want people to think highly of us, to admire our choices, to validate our decisions. But here's the reality. The more energy you spend trying to manage how others see you, the less energy you have to actually improve yourself. Think about it. When you post something online, Why do you keep checking the likes or comments? It's because you're addicted to external validation. But validation is fragile. If people approve, you feel good. If they don't, you feel bad. Your peace of mind becomes a puppet, controlled by the strings of other people's opinions. The Stoics believed freedom begins when you cut those strings. You can't control what others think, but you can control whether or not you let it define you. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own." Practicing detachment doesn't mean you become arrogant or dismissive. It means you recognize that opinions are just that, opinions. They don't add or subtract from your true value. A philosopher walking barefoot through Athens wasn't concerned if people mocked him, because he knew their laughter didn't change his wisdom. Likewise, your worth is not defined by applause or ridicule. Detachment also helps you stay silent. When criticized unfairly, you don't need to defend yourself against every insult. When praised excessively, you don't need to let it inflate your ego. You remain steady, unmoved by extremes, because you've built an inner compass that guides you. This is true freedom. When you detach from opinions, you can finally focus on yourself, your growth, and your purpose without being distracted by the noise of approval or judgment. So next time someone doubts you, mocks you, or criticizes your path, remember the Stoic rule. Their opinion is theirs, not yours. Let it pass like wind over stone. You stay rooted, focused, and silent in your strength. 7. Keep your circle small and strong. The Stoics understood that the people around you shape who you become. Seneca warned, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you are capable of making better." In other words, your circle can either elevate you or destroy you. Today, most people try to maintain massive social networks. Hundreds of online friends, constant group chats, endless connections. But the truth is, very few of those people add real value to your life. In fact, the larger your circle, the more noise you invite. More drama, more distractions, more wasted energy. The Stoic solution is simple. Keep your circle small but strong. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to grow, who live with integrity, who inspire you by their actions. One wise friend is worth more than 100 companions who only waste your time. But here's the important part. Keeping your circle small also means knowing when to walk alone. Many people fear solitude, but the Stoics embraced it. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that even in the chaos of Rome, he could retreat into his inner citadel, a place of peace within himself. Likewise, if your circle is toxic, it's better to stand alone than to stay surrounded by the wrong people. The strength of your circle is not measured by size, but by quality. The friends who remind you of your values, who respect your silence, who don't drag you into gossip or drama, those are the people who belong in your circle. And when your circle is strong, you gain the courage to stay silent when others seek noise, and to focus when others seek distraction. Because you know you are supported, and you know you are not wasting energy on people who don't matter. So remember this final rule. Keep your circle small and strong. Protect it like a fortress, because the people you allow into your life will either sharpen your sword or dull it.